Welcome to the latest edition of Real Estate with Chris. And today we're going to be talking about pricing your home correctly to sell. And the key word there is to sell, because we don't want to just put on the market and watch it sit and lower the price, lower the price, lower the price. So it's opposite of the auto industry, where a lot of people will have the highest price and then you negotiate down. In housing markets, you want to price it so that people bid up, and that's when you can get the best offer possible, not just the best price. So if you overprice your property, then A, you might not get that price, and B, you might not get the added benefits of an amazing offer. And we talked about this in a different series where it was about how to make the strongest offer possible. That's adding language to your inspection, adding language to the appraisal, and making sure that those timelines are tight and closing when the seller wants. So if you overprice it, one, you might not be getting that price. There's a chance, but let's be honest, you're probably not going to get the price if you overprice it. And two, you're not going to get any additional inspection contingencies. So you don't get those, we're willing to cover the first 5,000, we're willing to cover the first 10,000. Instead, people might nickel and dime you. So not only will you get a price lower than what you're expecting, but then the inspection happens and your price was here, you got this, which you're already upset about, and now the inspection happened and they're going to gouge you at this, and now you're going to be really upset. So it's best to start it not here, but either in the middle or down, let people bid up, so that A, your expectations are better, and B, you get the best offer possible. So the biggest thing is, when you're asking a realtor, what comps are you using and what number do you come across after looking at those comps? So when a realtor is looking at their comps, they're trying to find similarities. So if you're a single story ranch, you're not going to be comparing it to 2 stories. You're going to be comparing it to other ranches. You're going to compare it to others in the same school districts, within a half-mile radius if possible. And you're only going to go back 3 months, maybe 6 months at most. You want to try and find at least 3 good comps so that you have a good understanding of what the housing market is and what the house is actually like. So then you're going to adjust your numbers based off the differences between bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, how much of that square footage is on the main level versus in the basement, if the basement's finished, all the extra added ons. And the best thing that the realtor can do for you is give you a range and say, look, I think it's between X and Y, and I think we should list right here. And they should be able to tell you why. And not every house is going to be the same thing. So you're going to have different strategies for different times of the market. So in the spring market, maybe you do go at that highest point, knowing that there's going to be so many buyers out there that they may go even higher. Given how the last couple of years have gone, I would advise against that right now. And this is last day of February in 2026. So this is where it's now the 3rd year of the highest rates. They're finally starting to come down. So that means that buyers have a little bit more buying power with the rates coming down, which means they may be willing to spend a little bit more. So if their budget is $500,000, they're looking in the $450 range. They may be willing to go $475 instead of $450 if you price your house correctly. However, if you price it at $475, they may not even budge because they know they might have to go higher. So pricing it correctly is the key thing. So having your expectations of what your house could be and what your house will list at and what your house will sell for are 3 potentially different things. And a good realtor is going to let you know about those things and have that conversation right away up front about, we can do this, we can list it at this. However, I want to have this conversation now so that if it gets to that point, we don't need to have an argument, or you won't be surprised. You'll just know, okay, it's time. And that is, if your house doesn't sell, if you don't get an offer in 10 days or 14 showings, you need to do a price drop. That right there says you're overpriced. especially if you get double-digit showings and no offer. It is 100% the price. Now, some of that could be because the condition is off and you can improve your condition of your home. However, even with that, I would still do a price drop so that it gets people's interest again, and then we can market it and get photos done and make sure that we get those taken care of. So the biggest thing is have a conversation. Don't just accept somebody. If you're saying my house is worth $500,000 and that agent goes, yeah, let's do it. No, they need to be able to back that up with actual analysis. A great realtor will give you the analysis if they agree with you. An even better agent will say, you're too high and here's why. And they're going to back it up with actual facts. So make sure you ask questions. If you have a price in mind, let them know. See what their reaction is. If they just say, yep, let's do it, that's a weak agent. They will not serve you well. You will be sitting on the market. You will regret that decision. If they say, I agree with you, I've got 3 comps to back that up, let's do it. Or I think you're too low. I think we could go 525 because these 3 comps suggest that. However, we could start at 500 and hope that we get 525 with a bidding war. So the biggest thing is ask the questions and pay attention to if they can supply the actual facts because they did an analysis, or if they're just agreeing with you just to get the listing. So ask the questions. That's the bottom line. Hope you guys have a great one. Hope this is helping you. As always, my name is Chris Fenice. Please like, please subscribe. You can reach me at 609-223-5676 or email me at chris.fenice@kw.com. I'm here for you. Any questions, any real estate needs, reach out. Have a great one. Bye.